Hey, hey. Come on in here, guys. It's AlQamar. Come on and let the circle be unbroken. It's Sunday, late morning. Hey, hey, family. Let the circle be unbroken. I would love to have a conversation with you guys, you loved ones, this morning. Who's joining? Hey, hey. I'm hoping that the title will catch some of you guys' attention enough to pause and tune in so we can have a conversation. What creates this so-called black on black crime? The subject that a lot of us in these days and times, what's currently taking place, like to push to the side. Let's talk about it. Hey, family. Who's joining? Oh, hey, Benjamin, Deshaun. Hey, Deshaun. Dyke, Mohammed. Greetings to you, family. Let's have a discussion. Oh, I got this new singing bowl. So, I got my new singing bowl. So that's for us. Let this circle be unbroken this morning. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think? What creates, okay, for the sake of argument, because I know a lot of us out there, hey, Isaiah, I know a lot of us out there don't like that term, don't subscribe to it, reject it, this whole black on black crime term. I get it. I feel you. I know what you mean when you say that because, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is white on white crime? What is Korean on Korean crime? What is Chinese on Chinese crime? So crime is everywhere. It's prevalent. It's all throughout the earth. So to label us a specific way and reject or just lose consciousness when it comes to other people and their the crime rate in their own communities is doing ourselves an injustice. So I get it. But for the sake of argument, let's just say what's create this whole so-called black on black crime. And I want to go into something. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to connect these dots for us in a short period of time because I do want to go into details. Now, I know a lot of folks, and I used to be one, when we hear that, our people say that, well, why, we out whenever the police shoot one of us, we quick to jump, but all the crime in Chicago and all the killing and stuff going on right now, all the time, nobody never wanted to address that. And I used to be one of those who quick to jump down people's throat who talk like that and say things like that and be like, this ain't the time, right? We got to deal with this right now. So, I'm saying, later for all that. But the more I grew into my own level of understanding about the situations, the more I start realizing, well, wait a minute, because what happens is it'll come up and we always say this ain't the time or shut up about that, but we don't never approach it. So when is the time? So, okay, if this ain't the time, then why don't we ever really, really, really get to the root of discussing that matter that's serious? So I came to a better understanding of saying that we can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. What is it that makes us push that conversation so far left field and never want to really approach it? Why do we do that? So today I'm going to approach it. A lot of folks out there, you might not like it and appreciate it, because as you say, now is not the time, but I don't see where it's never really a serious conversation in our community. So I'm going to make it the time right here, right now, as well as the injustices of police killing, mass killing. It's beyond brutality. It's murder. So we can do that too. But I want to tie in what causes these young black brothers of ours, because 95% of all the cases stem from the brothers. You know what I'm saying? We have some sisters out here that cut up, but come on, we can all, I think, can agree that young black brothers, when we think of black on black crime, when we think of murders and the death rate and the killing amongst each other, those are the culprits. And where does this behavior stem? Where is it? So if we go even further and get down to the root of it, we can all pretty much agree that black people, corporate black folks with suit and ties and living in upper or middle income communities and driving Mercedes-Benz and BMWs and going on vacations 2-3 times a year are not out in their communities shooting each other on a street corner. Okay? So we know that most of this stems from high poverty stricken communities, which we consider the hoods and the ghettos, things of that nature. Those who grow up in those type of challenging environments are 9 out of 10 of those who do these drive-by shootings and street corner gang type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about it. Poverty, exactly. And so if we know this, right? So if we know that the root of the vast majority of our young brothers killing each other is stemming from these type of scenarios, then what can we do to curtail that behavior in our communities? What leads to it? What's the root cause of it? So I want to, and again, I said I'm going to tie all this together. Isaiah said we don't know yet. That's my point. My point is that we say a lot of things to make, they're talking points. What about black on black crime? But we never dig into what about why. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about why Chicago is a war zone right now. It hadn't always been that way. Okay, so how is it that now in 2020, there's more black youth killing each other in the streets of Chicago, for an example, than some places in Baghdad and some war-torn areas overseas or something? Why is that? And why don't we ever really address that? Really? But I want to make a correlation, but bear with me, because I'm going to read two statements from two different individuals that I stumbled across in 1 week's time. And I want to, and bear with me because it's a correlation. Okay, so let me read this one first. Oh shoot, wrong one. Bear with me. Y'all guys, I'm pushing 50 years old, so I need some assistance sometimes when it comes to reading. Okay, this sister, Amina, one of my Facebook friends, posted this on June 10th. She said, and she's local here to in the Prince George's County, Maryland area. This is where I live as well. She says, "Good morning, everyone. First, let me begin by giving God all the praise and honor for waking me and my family and friends up this morning and keeping me to have sane mind. Now, I just want to say that I meant to post about an experience I had yesterday in Marlow Heights, Maryland shopping center at a black-owned business beauty supply store. She posted the pictures and everything. She did her due diligence. The situation goes like this. Me, walk up to the front door and a guy with a mask is standing there with some kind of liquid hand sanitizer bottle. As he attempts to block the door and say he has to spray me before entering. I then suggested that I would use my own. He replied, okay, that's fine. Me, I then proceeded to go into the store, but briefly asked, "Is this a Black-owned business?" The guy's response was, "Most definitely." Me, I was like, great. As my daughter and I was walking down the aisle, the lady from behind the counter asked the guy, "Why didn't you put sanitizer on her?" And he turned to her he turned and said that she did. I turned around and looked to see who was speaking because the tone and how she asked him made me look. She then said, "What is she looking at me like that for?" And the two ladies by the door said, "Because you asked why didn't she get the sanitizer." So she then said, "Oh, I can say what I want to say. This is my store." However, from that point forward, they continued to talk about me. So I walked back down the aisle and said to them, "Oh no, this is all wrong. They talked about supporting Black-owned businesses, but how can you with poor and unprofessional service such as this? Mind you, if you have someone working the door, let them do their job while you man the register before it comes up short because you're too busy worrying about if he's doing his job about sanitization, but you're not wearing a freaking mask." I think that's what she meant. Really? So she said by this time she was yelling at me, but the whole time neither her or the ladies at the door were wearing a mask. I'm totally perplexed at this point. As I began to walk back out of the store, I said, "I don't have a problem giving my money to the Koreans because this BS right here." The lady at the door said she wasn't worried about me not supporting her. So I laughed and said, "Oh, okay, that's cool. You can take that hit, knowing you had mouths to feed." Okay, she said, "Of course, they still talking about me even as I walked out." The moral of the story is, how can we support our Black-owned business when you giving a BS, rude, nasty, unprofessional service? My money can go elsewhere. Yeah, she said it's funny they're called #1 beauty supply when the service they give is rated at a 0. That's one scenario. Real quick, this one is a lot shorter. This is somewhere else. I was at on my neighborhood website where all the people in my own community gather and have conversation about different things. And this woman said, "I went to get my hair done yesterday and I wanted to pick up 2 seafood dinners. So I thought about Levi's in Clinton. I went in, I placed my order, I waited for it. And there was a lady serving the food. Every other word that came out of her mouth was a curse word. I guess she thought it was okay because after all, we're all Black. There was a man waiting and we just looked at each other. When are we as a people going to learn to respect each other? She didn't know either of us. I won't be going back. The food was delicious, but if I want seafood, I'll be going to Cameron's in Oxon Hill. The people are very respectful and cordial there." And then she asked, "Is Levi's Black-owned?" This is a recurring thing. This ain't nothing new. I'm sure all of you guys have had your own stories and things like that. And I think this is another type of scenario we like to brush up under the rug and say, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? You got to have patience with our people and, just, support us anyway." And things like that. But we never really address that people really have gripes and issues out here when it relates to a lot of our Black-owned businesses. Not all. We have some superb, exceptional Black-owned businesses in our community. But the reality is, this is a lot of people's scenarios. And so I wanted to talk about it. Now, how does this relate? What I just wrote, how does that relate to Black-on-Black crime? Because, family, if we know that the vast majority of the crime is related to poverty in our communities, right? And poverty is a man-made construct. We weren't born here. You know, the earth is plentiful. We born with everything we need to survive, given to us by the creator of everything. So how is it and why is it that some of us find ourselves going hungry or having a lack of resources, not being able to pursue our dreams and goals and destiny in this world, and being held back from being able to achieve, being able to share our gifts with others and things of that nature? Why is that? I think that what we do is we deny our own responsibility as it relates to being social creatures in the world amongst a collective, cohesive group, right? Because if poverty is a man-made construct, then why is it that some communities can tackle their poverty, and other communities can't? Right? Why is it that some of us have plenty for our families, and then we go, 10, 15 minutes down the road, and other people don't have much of nothing, and we cool with that? That's just life. You know what I'm saying? But then when some stuff pop off and kick off in the communities, we shaking our head like that's a shame. You know what I'm saying? Without connecting the dots to realize that we have the power vested within ourselves to change the dynamics in our own communities. So if poverty relates to crime or creates crime, then what creates poverty? Right? When you have a lack of resources in your community, when you don't have businesses thriving in the communities, when the vast majority of black people take their money, their resources, their piece of the pie and wealth, and give it all to somebody else, and their communities are thriving. So instead of supporting our own businesses, we take our money and give it to those who are already uber rich and wealthy, the big box stores and you guys, I don't need to name them, you guys know. And so that leaves the lack of our own resources in our own communities high and dry. It's not there. But then we look at the scenario on the outside and shake our heads and like, why can't they get it together? When we don't even put the core connection to realize the things we do, the decisions we make, the moves we make has a direct correlation to why our young brothers killing each other in the hood. That's real. That's real because we don't make the necessary sacrifices. We should. Now, should we support businesses in our community that treat us like crap, like the stuff I just read about? I'm not one to subscribe to that either. I'm not one to say that, you should just go and give your money to people even though they treat you like crap. No. But let's tackle that. How do we fix it all? How do we get to a place where we could tackle poor service and still be able to give our monies to black-owned businesses so they can thrive and flourish, create jobs for those that don't have jobs in the hood or resources, create more resources so everybody can benefit? Hey, Angel. You're replying to somebody else. Let me see. Dice said the ability to effectively economically come together has been beaten out of us during slavery, and afterwards, if we do too well, they visit violence on us and take what we've built and achieved. Yeah, that's a conversation too, Dyken. I'm not denying that, but my mind go to, is that a reason to not build though? this, that. Okay, we know that's the case. So we do nothing. We just keep going on and allowing somebody else to be winning, somebody else to do all the winning. You know what I'm saying? While we doing all the losing? Or do we try to figure out what we can do to protect our assets at the same time we building? Hey, Kieta and Dwayne, Deanna, they're selling masks like the rest of the world, and you see them asking 700% profit. I can buy masks, 3 packs and personalized for $11, but my people selling 1 for $14. I'm at a loss with that. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, how we I have a small business myself. I'm a small boutique owner. I sell online. I have a little shop that I'm there 3 days a week right now. And so and I'm not having this conversation with me knowing all the answers either, because I get checked all the time. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot I need to learn myself as it relates to running a business. But I appreciate getting checked. But as it relates to the thing, I think a lot of folks don't understand that when it comes to, let's take Korean, for example. Let's compare ourselves to a Korean business owner selling the same thing as a black business owner. And you'll likely notice that the black-owned business prices can be a little higher than the Koreans. Well, what the Koreans have is Asia backing them up, which is China is the #1 product manufacturers in the world. 8 out of every 10 products we use come from China. That's everything in your home. That's what you wear. That's why when people be like, we need to boycott China, we need to boycott Asian stuff, it's like, good luck with that one. You're gonna be cold and burned. But back to my point. China is the manufacturer of 8 out of 10 products. All right. So America, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of things are imported from China. So let's say a sweater, you know what I'm saying? Here, the same sweater here in America, made here in America, the same sweater, product, everything, color, cotton, all that stuff in China. The sweater here in America may cost $5 to make. That same sweater in China, they can make for 50 cents. Okay? So keep that in mind. So now you're a Chinese or Korean person here in America with your own shop, but you got China in your hip pocket, and you got business connections in China straight from the manufacturer that you can call up on a first name basis. Hey, Young Ying, I'm over here and I need 500 hair, you know what I'm saying, packs of weave. You know what I'm saying? So, and that business connection, they can get the same product that you and I have to go through them to get through another person. So that same 500 packs of hair weave that the Chinese Korean person can order is going to cost them, let's say for $5,000. So that same 500 packs of weed that a black person is going to have to order is going to cost them $15,000, family, because we don't have the business connections that they do, right? And so we have to go through the wholesalers, okay? And they can go straight to the manufacturers and get what they want, and for a whole lot cheaper, because that's they ally, they alliance, they're aligned. So we have to put things in its proper perspective when we talk about why black people charge so much for different things, because we have to pay so much to get it. Okay, family? So just keep that in mind. you know what I'm saying? Now, that's not saying that there aren't black people that are straight up price gouge. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. Some of the same products that, you know what I'm saying? I know, you know, that because I get it myself. So I know what the rate is wholesale, and I see somebody else with that same product and it's 2, 3, 4 times as much as what I would charge. And I'm looking like, come on now, sis. So come on now, brother. So I get that, but I don't see a whole lot of that, though. I don't see a whole lot of that out there, in my opinion. So just keep that in mind, Deanna, and those of you who say that. It's a legitimate concern. I get it, but that is why a lot of the products you'll get from Black-owned businesses, usually the price is a little higher because we don't have those business relationships. And we like to reject our African culture and things like that, and without understanding that that can be a catalyst towards building some bridges with people who manufacture their own goods and things. Okay, so we can build the same type of ally, you know what I'm saying, across seas with our own people, but we first got to start rejecting who we are. Hey Paula. Yeah. Isaiah said, customer always right, and many of us cannot accept that. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Deanna, she's mentioning again about the Black-owned want to rob their own. The burden is definitely on the business owner, though. Yes, and that's just what I'm saying. It's like a lot of what we deal with can be rectified if we approach the subject first. We gotta at least sit down and have a conversation about it, because it's like, how do you expect any change if you don't even want to address the issue? Okay, so you can't fix a problem that you don't even want to address the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like in a relationship, if you got a problem with your significant other and you want to talk about it, that there's a problem. I'm feeling a certain kind of way about whatever. Sweetie, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation about it. And all they want to do, I don't want to hear that. Nah, I don't want to talk about it. Nah, it's good. Everything is good. We ain't got no problems. So how would that make you feel? First of all, and second of all, how do you think that problem is ever going to be addressed if the conversation is not being had? So again, that's why I wanted to come to you guys about this scenario, because we have a tendency to sweep these kind of things under the rug, and we don't talk about them and want to have a conversation about it, and it becomes an elephant in the middle of the room. And so when people bring it up, like this whole, what about, when they say stuff like, well, what about we not talking about how we killing each other out here? And the first thing a lot of the conscious community want to do is beat people up about that. Shut up about that. This ain't the time for that. We ain't dealing with that right now. This is, that ain't got nothing to do with police brutality. Yeah, okay, but when are we going to address it? And then what happens is things start to settle down, simmer down a little bit, and the conversation never gets addressed. So I think we need to start confronting the elephant in the room. So back to Black-owned Black businesses. Again, I think that is a direct correlation to Black-owned Black crime, family. And again, for the sake of argument, you know what I'm saying, starting off this thing, we talked about the whole term Black-owned Black crime. So, how does buying black help you? How does it help you? Let's talk about it. Buying, you as a Black person, making a conscientious decision to support other Black businesses actually increases the revenue in your own community. Okay, so the more you buy into Black-owned businesses, the more the pool builds. So they get stronger. They get better. They have more money to do other things. So now, wait a minute, that one business has the ability now, because they have so many, a flood, an influx of new clientele coming through their door, that, oh, well, I can take and make 2 businesses now. I can branch off and do a franchise, or I can hire more people now because I have to keep up with the cash flow. Keep up with the business flow. So what does that do? That creates more jobs in our own community, because statistics show that people hire people within their own racial construct. most of the time. That's just how it goes. And so now you got more people receiving jobs that may not have had one because you helped to bring more money into that community. Now you have 2 or 3 different businesses that's flourishing where it was used to be just one because you made a conscious decision to bring more business into your own community and support your own people. So that's one way that buying black helps you, because we have a tendency to think that we're doing charity. Oh, I'm gonna spend a couple of my dollars with black owned businesses this week. It's, we appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. We appreciate it. But why do we have to be the exception to the rule? Why can't it be, you support black businesses and this week, some of the things that I can't get from black owned businesses, I guess I'll go over here and get it from them. Why can't it be the other way around? Why are we the charity in the case? It allows for more jobs to be created. We talked about that. We create more resources in the community when we buy black, like after school programs for children and like sporting events or something. They can buy the little league outfits, and the people the businesses you're supporting, now they're in a position to be able to give scholarships to young folks who need it, or because, you know what I'm saying? So it's a goes around, comes around. It's a give or receive. It's a reciprocity. So I think when we start to really understand how it affects us, you know what I'm saying? I don't think we get that the money you support in your own community comes back to you tenfold in all kind of ways, in your family, in the children. So now you got after school programs and you can build up the minds of our youth better, and because we have more activities for them to do that are healthy, as opposed to sitting on the street corner and selling drugs, or you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different ways that buying black helps. It helps beautify the neighborhood, because you know what I'm saying, when you start having pride, taking pride in your own communities and stuff, people start looking at it a little differently. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what some place like a Black Wall Street, or some place where, like in Atlanta, Georgia or something, where, the whole neighborhood is black owned or whatever, and people are having pride in that. You know what I'm saying? You see that a little bit with, if it's some riots going on, and a lot of times somebody put up this a black owned business, and if they have a little bit of civilized sense, they'll be like, well, I'm going to skip over that one, and I'm going to bust the windows out of this other one, because I got a little bit more pride in my black-owned businesses than I do anybody else's. So it helps to beautify the neighborhoods. Home ownership increases, okay? Because again, here's the resources. Now we have more resources, more elbow room, more space to maneuver. Things aren't as tight because now we have a lot of people supporting each other in our communities. And so now the home ownership increases. Now you have the ability to take some of those additional resources that you may not have had before, and you're able to buy as opposed to rent. So it increases home ownership, and we all know what that does to a community. It helps to beautify it, because pride of home ownership comes along with owning. We talked about how more black businesses are created out of the few, because now there's the influx of additional people supporting and buying from those businesses, because then your revenue increases. You have more people buying from you, then now you got more money coming in the door. Now you got more things that you could do because you got additional resources. It creates self-sufficiency. We doing for self. We're not looking for nobody else to give us a handout, because we handing out our own. You know what I'm saying? So it creates a self-sufficiency. It reduces the poverty level from all the above. You know what I'm saying? So when you reduce the poverty level, then we talked about the folks that are killing each other on the street corners aren't the ones who have decent jobs and got something to look forward to every day, and they waiting on vacation time because they looking forward to going out of the country vacationing and all that stuff because they have more resources than somebody in the hood. So it reduces the poverty level when we buy from each other. It gives us more power, family. It gives us more power. At the end of the day, with all else being said, we become stronger and more powerful when we make a conscious decision to support each other in business in particular. So I'm saying supporting each other shouldn't be an option. We shouldn't be an option. We should want to do it. I think it is self-sabotage not to. It's a suicide mission to sit here and keep saying things like, I got a choice of where, where I'll go, and I'm going to go where, wherever people treat me right, which we should. I'm not ignoring that. I just read the couple of stories about how, in our own businesses, we're not treated right. You know what I'm saying? But I think that we need to tackle that so we can get rid of that, so we can carry on in the ways of still supporting one another. So if we got to root out some of those bad apples from the bunch, well, let's root out some of those bad apples from the bunch and keep on moving forward. And don't say things like, see, that's why I don't support Black-owned businesses. I don't, because, they don't treat me right and da-da-da-da-da. No, let's fix that problem so you can carry on supporting other Black businesses that do treat you right. That's all I'm saying. And I appreciate these people who speak out, because that's what we have to do. We have to speak out about our concerns when it comes to Black-owned businesses without worrying about getting shut down about it, because it's a real thing out here. And because what happens is, and this one I read earlier went viral, and if you guys hadn't came in late, just go back and watch the very beginning of this video, because I read it. And the sister who posted this, the last I checked, she had like 2,000 shares. So this thing went viral, this one beauty supply. So what do you think gonna happen when the owner gonna get a hold of it? Of course, that. And when she reads it, what do you think? It can go one or two ways. She can be foolish about the situation and throw her middle finger up and say, I don't care, and make excuses for herself, or deny that took place in her store. And because other people was jumping on saying, yeah, I'm familiar with that store, and I don't go there myself because of the attitude, da-da-da-da-da. So clearly, this ain't her first rodeo, this woman, this owner. So she could be naive and ignorant. The root word is to ignore. She can ignore or be ignorant about the situation and learn nothing. Or she could take this and be like, uh-oh, my whole business is on the line. My whole business is on the line, and I can be in a position to lose my income because of my attitude, because the way I choose to treat my own people when they come and to spend their money with me. Okay, so she can learn a valuable lesson from this, and other business owners too will look at this and read that and be like, oh shoot, let me be careful. Let me be a little more nicer. Let me smile a little more wider when people come in my doors, because I don't want to go viral like this other girl did, this other woman did, and it hurt my business. So that's the benefit of speaking up and speaking out, because you help other people learn from other people's mistakes. Because you better believe I look at this and be like, oh, sis, you know what I'm saying? What do I need to do in my own business so I won't fall victim to a viral like this? If you want something about your business going viral, you want people to be talking real positive about your business. You want them to be telling the world about the good service they received, or, some way you done went out of your way to help support your own people and things like the support something. You don't ever want to be in this predicament. So I applaud this sister from going viral and sharing her story, because this is the way we get better, family. This is the way we get better, by self-accountability and responsibility. you know, holding each other accountable and holding each other accountable. This other lady talked about how, you know, she was in the store and the girl was just cussing up a storm behind the counter. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that, in my personal opinion, comes from just not having proper training. Just not having proper training in business. And a lot of that falls on the business owner or the business management, in my opinion. Because I think that we're in a special case scenario in this society, you know, especially when you're dealing with poverty levels or lower income level communities and things of that nature. You know, a lot of our youth just never been taught, family. They never been taught how to really, that's all they know. They listen to trap music all day and BET, you know, all night. And, you know what I'm saying? They come home and a lot of times their parents, I'm just keeping it real. The parents, every other word come out of their mouth is derogatory and they, you know, cursing and all that kind of stuff. And this is the environment they grow up in. So now they get a job, you know what I'm saying, behind a counter, and we expect them to now be model citizens. And, you know what I'm saying? No, this is what they know. This is what they know. Is it an excuse for it to continue? No, I'm just giving you guys an example of how it goes. And so it's our responsibility to teach them differently, to teach the youth differently. You know what I'm saying? And so I think as a manager, if I had like my own restaurant or something like that, where I had a whole crew of people that depended on me for a paycheck, every week I would be doing like a team huddle every week. All of us that, you know, ain't gotta be no more than 10, 15 minutes. But, you know, everybody on that shift, it's time for a team huddle. And I have to, then it's my job as the owner or manager to relay to my employees the mission of this business. You know what I'm saying? And remind them over and over and over again. You know, your paycheck is predicated on how you treat people. And you can't be just talking to people any kind of way and calling them out their name or having an attitude all day, every day, because that's going to affect the business to come in this door. And if that's affecting the business to come in this door, I might not even be in a position to keep my doors open. And if I can't keep my doors open, then you don't have a job. So when you are able to explain to people how important their role is in the overall construct, it's a team effort, it's a family affair, then, you know, I think we can start curtailing some of this behavior. But we got to step up, and it got to be our responsibility. So me personally, when I read this, the first thing I thought about was, oh, that manager or whoever it was running that, they need training. These young folks need training. They need team huddle. And if it continues, then you can talk to them about, you know what I'm saying, you know, what you will and will not stand for in your own business. So you don't, yeah. So, but again, these are people speaking out, talking about their experience with Black-owned businesses. And a lot of times, the folks who don't understand the root causes and ramifications, they just quick to, I'm done. I don't want to deal with Black-owned businesses. I'm going to spend my money over here, not realizing that a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, a lot of other business owners ain't going to treat you no better, you know. But that's this thing we got going, this self-deplore thing we got going with our own selves, that, you know, we look for, a lot of us look for these type of stories so we can feel better about our own decisions not to support one another. See, told you. See there, look at there. That's why I don't support Black-owned businesses right there. That's why I go spend my money elsewhere. So, and a lot of that, if we want to even get down to the root of a lot of that boils down to how you feel about yourself, really. So, moving right along. Let's see. Hey, Michael, peace and blessings. Paula said USA is a service country, not a manufacturing country. That's right. Not anymore. It used to be. That's why it used to be when at one point, but we folks got comfortable. Black folks too. You know what I'm saying? It's like you become the number one wealthiest country in the world, and I mean on earth, and you get comfortable in that position. So it's like at one time where you used to have to pick cotton, or you would have to, you know what I'm saying, be on a steel mill banging out steel and doing all these things, and now you can pay somebody a little money to do that for you. You ain't gotta do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get my hands, I don't want to get my nails dirty. So I'm going to go on and take, you know what I'm saying, give you a little bit of money over there, China man, and handle that for me, because I'm busy on my yacht. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality. And so what happens is all those labor jobs were outsourced. You know what I'm saying? Because America had the wealth to do it. And so now, you know, what used to be built here in America is not. And so we depending and relying on other people to do those type of jobs, and give us those type of services. We can afford to do it, but there's always a catch-22 to that. So now, but you're not self-sufficient anymore. We've seen that with the mask scenario. So now your country, you need masks like yesterday for your own citizens, because Corona is on the prowl, and you got to look to China to get your mask, because ain't nobody really producing masks here in America, not as swiftly and not as efficiently as China is doing. But you got some man in the office, every chance he dogging China out. It's deep. So now you need something from these people to help save you and your folks' lives. And China like, pause. Nah, I'm gonna take this whole crate of mask over here, and I'm gonna go on and give it to Iran. I'm gonna go on and give it to Cuba. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a give and take when not being self-sufficient, doing things on your own. So it's some interesting dynamics at play. Let me go back to the end. I'm sorry, family, if I can't get to everybody, because I don't want to be on here forever either. Isaiah, you responded to, we got to outsource that labor to Africa. If we can do that as a people, it would be a huge move. Absolutely. We got to start thinking bigger, family. We got to start thinking bigger than consumerism. That stuff is killing us. You know what I'm saying? Because we just got finished talking about being reliant. You know what I'm saying? We get comfortable too, because we just follow behind the status quo. And the status quo is, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they doing it, you know, so I could do it. So I'm going to do it too. So, but we got to get wise, you know, in this day and time. And we got to start thinking towards the future, you know what I'm saying? And preserving something of value and quality for our children and our grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all about us, you know, so what are we doing here? You know, we fighting this whole police brutality thing and stuff. But then what? What are we leaving? What legacy are we leaving to those who's coming behind us? So, you know, we got to start producing for ourselves. And we can't do it all by ourselves. We need support. So we have a lot of the economic resources, and our brothers and sisters over on the continent is doing a lot of producing themselves, producing goods and services themselves. Then it just behooves me to let's link up, let's connect those bridges, you know what I'm saying? And let's start doing some things for ourselves, because it makes no sense to me that we keep depending on the same people who hate us for our livelihoods. That makes no common sense to me. You know what I'm saying? These people, a lot of them care we live or die, shooting us dead and down in the street. We the last hired and the first fired. You know what I'm saying? We got to fight, scratch, and do everything just to get ahead in this society. Well, why we keep trying to go to them to do that? Let's just curtail them. Let's go around all that and go straight to our own brothers and sisters. And let's make some things, some connections, and do some things together. So we don't have to rely on the same people that hate our guts to feed us, you know? So, yeah, I'm watching this. Support each other should not be an option. We must. You know, it shouldn't be an option to buy black. You know what I'm saying? If you understood the ramifications of not buying black, if you understood the power that you bring when you do buy black, then it becomes a no-brainer. You must buy black. We must support from each other, especially in this day and time. That's how other nations become big and powerful. How do you think the Korean it becomes the number two? I want to say I'm putting the Jew in the same category as the white in my own mind. But let's say, for the sake of argument, I could be wrong. Even number 2 or number 3, they right up there, became the number 2 most wealthiest group of people in America. How do you think they did that? They did that because they come together with their own people and support their own people. You don't see a bunch of Koreans going into black-owned business buying from them. You don't see that because they understand the benefits of buying black. They understand, buying from their own people. They get, when they pool their own resources and come together and that they all win. They all win. So now they have even more resources than anybody else in this society because they doing the same things I'm talking about. Everybody does. We the only ones talking about, well, I got an option. I can spend my money wherever I want it or things like that. Because we don't see the bigger picture. So we grow, other nations grow big and powerful. That's how they do it, by unifying and coming together and pooling their resources together. So we just got to wise up and do the same thing. We got to force the black businesses in our community with poor service to step it up. We got to force them to step it up. And if they don't step it up, then we move on and we buy from other black businesses. We don't abandon the whole mission. We don't jump over the ship overboard and leave the ship without sailors. No, we say, okay, well, we put you in probation. You ain't gonna do right by us. Well, you're not gonna get our business until you do. Because you don't dismiss and abandon altogether. You know what I'm saying? But you give them a probationary period. I'm not coming back here. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to share my story with the rest of the community and let them know so they can, if they decide, they can make a conscious decision themselves if they want to support you or not. I know I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And until you do better, I'm going on over to my other sister over here and buy from her. That's what we do. That's how we affect change in our community and still supporting one another at the same time. It can be done, family. Because turning your back on black businesses is self-sabotage. We gotta understand that. You ain't doing them a stabbing your own self in the chest with a knife when you do that. When you decide, I ain't supporting my own, I'm gonna go out here and support other people who competing against me. You know what I'm saying? It's like taking a baton in a race. It's your turn to pass the baton in the race, and you racing, and you take your baton. You take your baton and give it to the opposing team. That's how it is. That's really how it is when you go outside of your business. Outside of your own community in support of. And I just want to say, like I said, I don't ever claim to know it all. I don't ever claim to know. I have a small business myself, and I got a whole lot of learning to do, but I'm open. That's the difference. I'm open to learning and educating myself. I'll tell you a quick story. I had on my Facebook page, Malik's Fashions business page on Facebook, one time, a couple years ago. I had got a random message. Oh, he posted it right on the stream. This man, I don't know who he is to this day, random guy. And he posted on my business page a list. It was about 4 or 5 things. He was like, this page does not have a proper link to a website. no phone number, no something. Well, I can't remember exactly, but he listed out some of the things on my page that was inaccurate or was inappropriate or wasn't good for business, whatever. Now, I could have took that and got offended and, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, deleted or erased all that stuff, but I thanked that man. I read every one of them. I thanked him for doing it, and he wasn't nice about it either. He was not nice. He was letting me know that, you know, that I was doing some things that was inappropriate for business. And I corrected every single one. I corrected every single one of them. I went on and I thanked him personally for sharing with me. And I told him that, you know, I have made those proper corrections. Thank you. So I'm open to hearing from the community because that's how I get better. That's how I get better. I don't want to be sitting around and being foolish about the situation. And I'm like trying to deny that I need help. You know what I'm saying? Had somebody with a little more business savvy than me. And regardless of how he came to it, that he was able to help me be a little better based on his comments. And so, I could have took another way about it and been it all in my feelings about it, or I could have learned from the situation. So, yeah, we gotta, we just gotta be better, family. We really do. So, one time, you know, there is some responsibility as it relates to the customer too, though, family. You know, we like to say things like the customer is always right. And you know what I'm saying? We get on the business owners all the time. But I've had situations where, you know what I'm saying? I've had some really tough dealings with customers. You know, like for instance, one time, this lady and her husband or man or whatever was at my table and they were buying something and she didn't have enough money, right? And so she was just like, oh, I don't have enough. You know what I'm saying? Like she just automatically assumed that I was just supposed to give her the product for less because she didn't have enough money in her pocket to pay for it. And any other time, it would have been fine. You know, it was probably that day she caught me or whatever, how it all went down that made me a little firm with my guns. And I was like, no, this is the price. And she was like, you ain't gonna let me get it for this? I've been here before. I buy from you before. You ain't gonna and I was polite. I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry, but this is the price. And her husband or whatever was going in his pocket to get the additional monies that she didn't have. She stopped him. She was like, no. And she put it back. She was like, never mind. I don't want nothing. And she left, right? So like now, prior to this, I've had 5-star reviews. The next day or day after or whatever, I look on my page and somebody gave me a 1, right? A 1 star on my Facebook page review. I was like, wow, I know that sister didn't just do this. And I went on and I politely asked the person, you know what I'm saying, who gave me a 1. You know, I see you had you had a bad issue, you know, with my service, and you know, can you please allow me to rectify it? Can you let me know what happened so I can, you know, attempt to rectify the matter? Nothing. They didn't respond. They didn't get nothing. All I got was a 1 with no explanation, no nothing. So I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, yeah, I'm sure that was that lady. So my point was, a lot of times we expect cuts and discounts and stuff from our own people, and really like a sense of entitlement. Like, you supposed to do this for me. You supposed to give me a discount. Or, you know, we expect things from our own Black-owned businesses that we don't do with other people. You're not going to go to another business, a Korean-owned business or any place else and go up to the counter and be like, you know what I'm saying, I need this for half, or can you give me a discount? Can you give me a deal? We're not even going to ask. We're not going to ask because we know what the answer going to be. but we expect our own businesses to do that. And I don't think that that's fair. I understand why we do that. My theory is because we feel comfortable with each other. It's our people. This is, you my brother, you my sister. Hey, what's up? What I'm saying? So we have a more lackadaisy relationship as it relates to business than if we're going outside of our community to do business, because it's a kinship there. It's a, what I'm saying? I get why we do it, but I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that, especially if, now I like a good discount like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even saying that it's absolutely wrong to even inquire. I know a lot of business owners are going to disagree with me here, but I don't mind. I don't mind people asking me every now and again for a discount, because I have the right to say no. I have the right to say no, I can't do that, and often I do. You know what I'm saying? But as a consumer, as a customer, and you get mad at the business owner who don't want to give you a discount, there's something wrong there. You know what I'm saying? That right there, I don't think is fair. So we have a responsibility as customers too, when we are interacting with our own people, to, you know what I'm saying, to be careful with that. Because I'm a little different, you know what I'm saying, but a lot of my friends who own businesses and stuff, that's one of their biggest pet peeves. They can't stand it. They can't stand that when it comes to our people, we always looking for a handout and looking for a discount all the time. But my thing is, say no. You can say no politely, and still, transact. So, but anyway, those are just my stories, or my own personal stories. So yeah, and then, she made me suffer with a bad review because I didn't give her a discount. So I just didn't think that was fair. So yeah, just speak up, family. Speak up, please. When you're having these scenarios, you know what I'm saying? Be fair about it. I like this sister that when she explained it, she took pictures, everything, you know what I'm saying? She started off on a good note. She wanted everybody to know, give God the praise, and you know what I'm saying? So she didn't sit down and write an angry resentment letter. You know what I'm saying? She took her time and she explained the whole scenario out. And then she gave the reader the opportunity she didn't go and say, don't buy from this lady, you know what I'm saying? And none of that stuff. She just shared her experience. And so I respected how Amina approached the situation. And I thought it was a job well done. And yeah, we as business owners, we gotta be careful out here how we treat our own brothers and sisters, because you don't want to go viral for all the wrong reasons. For real. Be understanding of the position we are in as far as the price point. I went over that. Because, I went over that. I ain't gonna go over that again. Make sacrifices for the greater mission, family, for the greater mission at home. It's bigger than just taking a few dollars and going and dropping it on a pair of earrings or whatever. It's bigger than that. The mission is far greater than that. So when we can see Father and understand that I'm taking this money, and this money is going to help build up the people in my own community. It's going to help build us and make us grow more powerful. It's going to give us more resources. It's going to make us, be able to compete in a stronger playing field. When we understand it that way, we know that buying from each other is a must. It's no option. We got to do this. So yeah, we do need business etiquette classes. I'm the first to admit that. Like I said, I'll be the first one in the class, because, somebody, when I hear people, anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, business etiquette class for those who are helping us run our businesses and the employees in our businesses and stuff. Yeah, we got some things that we deal with and contend with that a lot of other communities don't. That's because they've never had to deal with what we had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? What other people on earth have been through um, chattel enslavement. You know what I'm saying? Physically chained and forced and whipped and beat. I ain't got to go down to history. No other people on earth have been through what we've been through and made it out on the other end. And here we are. So hell yeah, we got some issues. We got a whole lot of social issues to contend with. And so yeah, we messed up in a lot of ways. All of us. But we still making it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand our challenges so we can get through them together. So yeah, so the business etiquette class, we just need that. We need to start teaching and training up these young folks how to communicate, how to communicate with customers and how to treat people right. Because really, family, you know what I'm saying? When you used to being treated like crap your whole life long, you can't turn around and then expect them people to treat other people, you know what I'm saying, not like crap. That's all they know. More talks like this. I say let's do more talks like this. Let's get panel discussions going. Let's have radio programs. Let's talk community gatherings. Let's talk to business owners. And let's get the business owner and the consumer together. You know what I'm saying? And let's have round tables and let's talk about it, out in the open so we can have a better, proper understanding and move forward in a healthier space. My brother, the Irritated Genie, he did a DVD called Mind Your Own Black Business. So if you're local and you haven't seen that, yeah, he sells it at Everlasting Life in Capitol Heights. It's called Mind Your Own Black Business. It's like a 3-part DVD. And it's good work. It's some excellent information in that. He just goes over the whole thing about how we can get better in business. Stop looking for excuses to sabotage yourself and your family by buying outside of your community. Stop looking for the excuses to do that and it shouldn't even be a sacrifice. It shouldn't even be a sacrifice to support your own people. I was on Facebook the other day and somebody posted, it must have been a nails tech, black-owned nail tech. And she said, if you gonna go back to the Korean people after this coronavirus is over to get your nails done, don't even look for me. Don't even look for me right now, because that's not fair to me and those like me. So she was basically saying, so what we do is like, what I'm saying? Oh, damn, the Korean shops are closed right now. But I know my girl do nails, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go to her now because I can't get to the Koreans and let her do my nails. You know what I'm saying? My sister, until this coronavirus let up, and I'm going on back to the Koreans. So that was a fair point she made. She's like, don't even come to me if that's going to be your plan. Don't use me. Don't use me. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get to them. So we got to start thinking about what we do. And this is your own people you telling this to. Think about that for a second. This is one black woman telling another black woman that don't use me. You know what I'm saying? That's deep, family, when we stop to think about it. Let's separate the bad apples. Call them out. Call them out. You know what I'm saying? With no more sugarcoating and trying to make excuses and covering up for these bad black-owned businesses that ain't treating us right. Call them out or say something to them. Pull them to the side. Write them an email. Write them a letter if you're not comfortable with approaching people face to face. You know what I'm saying? But say something. Don't just keep letting things go. Like that woman who said the little young guy or girl was cursing the whole time. You know what I'm saying? I would have said something to her. And it's a way to talk to people without making a mass situation worse. You know what I'm saying? But I would have made it my business to say something. I don't know how. I don't know. I wasn't in that particular. I don't know what I would have done, but I would have said something before I walked out that door. Because a lot of times we just don't know. We don't know that what we doing is offensive. That's real. Shout out to black businesses who's getting it right. We don't do that hardly enough. We don't do that, period. You know what I'm saying? We in a place now where we've grown more comfortable with trauma and drama and spreading the bad news than the good. I have to sift. I got to sift through a whole lot of content before I can get to one that's sharing real good news. I have to go out of my way to find the good news because everybody want to talk about what everybody doing wrong, the negative, the bad, and the more you focus in on that kind of stuff, it grows. It grows. So we should be focusing in on the good, the benefit. We should be building. We should be focusing on building. What can we, like these kind of conversations, what can we do to make the situation better? Okay, we know it's bad. All right, we know us communities, we know all the negative things. We get that because all day, every day, that's all we see, all we hear, all we talk about, all we post about. Okay, then what are we doing to fix it? What are the good things? What are the good stories? So, definitely shout out to businesses who doing it right. It's sad. I had posted something yesterday. I asked the people, I was like, post your city and state and a black-owned restaurant that you like, that you always get good service from. Shout them out. I got about 6 or 7 shout-outs. About 6 or 7 out of all the people on my page. Now, if I would have said, post a black-owned business that you got bad service from, I bet you any amount of money, it would have been 5 times as many comments. Yeah, that's because we didn't got into a comfortable place in our minds in negativity. That's real, family. That's real. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. We need more manufacturing industries for food, clothing, shelter, transportation, things like that. But it's a walk, it's a crawl before we walk. I get it. You know what I'm saying? We coming out of some stuff. So we got to be patient with one another. And but that don't mean we get stuck in a certain place either. You know what I'm saying? We should be forever growing or forever striving on getting better and improving. And we just need more industries for manufacturing, and I say that our relationships across seas can help with that. But we got to stop denying. You got to stop denying our brothers and sisters over on the continent. Linked with the black people across seas for import and export. It can be done. It can be done. We got to stop looking for other people to do all these things for us and start figuring out our minds on how can we do this for ourselves. How do we become self-sufficient? The same way other communities then built communities and built import exports and all this stuff for themselves. We have the resources. We just don't have the will. We don't have the will to do it because we so comfortable with other people leading the way for our own lives. But think in terms of your own society, a nation within a nation. Move in that direction. Think bigger. You know what I'm saying? Think bigger. Yeah. And so again, the black on black crime is related to the lack of black on black business support. That's real. All right, family. That's it. I'm out of here. I know I didn't get a chance to talk to everybody who had comments, but I don't want this thing to be, forever, ever long. So appreciate it. If anything I said that resonated with you, all I ask is that you share. You just share so other people can, we can be all on the same page. And, even if you disagree, maybe some things you disagree with, have a conversation about it. Share that too and say, hey, I ain't like what she said here, and there. But the point is, let's have a conversation. All right, family. Take care of each other out there. Oh, Emma. Let the circle be unbroken. Peace.